Welcome to the OMB Law Board. I'm Simon Bennett, and today I have Juliette Nairn, partner of OMB Body Corporate Team. Juliette, welcome back to the podcast, long-time friend.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
So we've had heaps of comments and questions about different things body corporate, and we're finding that with the increase in strata living and body corporate living, and you can tell us a little bit about that there's ongoing inquiry about how we go about buying and what things we should worry about. So I wanted to talk to you about that today if we could.
That's exactly right. So the statistics are telling us by 2040, it is saying 50% of our Australian population is going to live in strata. So that means we're going to have people who have never bought property before, and their first arrangement in that might be buying a one-bedroom lot in a strata body corporate. It's quite different to buying in body corporate versus buying freehold in a home, a different land where you've got a little bit of land and maybe park around you and so forth. So we're really going to look at what are the 5 key things you would look at if you were buying for the first time in body corporate, particularly in residential body corporate to live.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because if you buy a home, in a lot of respects, you're a law unto yourself.
Correct.
And if you're buying in a strata scheme, then yes, you have your own apartment or your own strata that you own, but you are involved in a set of rules and regulations which govern that community living.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what it is, harmonious community living. And one of the key questions sometimes is what we ask individuals when they're considering this arrangement, particularly when they're looking at downsizing. We talk about what type of strata they want to live in. Is it a big building? Is it a little building? Does it have a lot of amenities? Less amenities? Are they looking at mobility issues? So there's a whole different range of questions for a person's individual choices in buying in strata. And also when we get involved as the legal representation, what are 5 of the key issues that we're going to look at as well?
All right. On that note, let's drill down. What are the 5 key issues that I need to be aware of when I'm buying in strata?
Firstly, know what you're buying. So what lot am I buying? Importantly, try to inspect and have a look at it. But the starting point is get a plan. Yep. So often we have discussions with real estate agents. We're very excited. We go on site and people tell us, oh, it's your courtyard, it's your patio, it's your car parking space, it's your storage area, and that all goes with your lot. So you're going to be able to use all of these facilities. One that we looked at recently, the individual had bought the lot and the car parking space and had a storage space. The storage space was on the other side of the basement and another car was parked in front of it.
Yeah. And worse, have we ever seen a situation where they think they bought lot A, but in fact they've bought lot B?
Yes, we actually just dealt with that recently in terms of that. So having a visual representation and inspecting and going on site shows us a lot about the lot, but if it doesn't match up on the plans, it's not what you're buying. And when we talk about a plan, it could be a building units plan or a group title plan, and there's different obligations that go with those plans.
Okay, so number 1, let's make sure we're buying the right lot. Let's look at the plans.
That's right.
And let's go on site and check that the plans and the actual physical site correlate to the same thing.
Match.
Okay.
So when we look at the plan, there's one other important document that we're going to look at in case something attaches to that plan as well. And you know where that is.
Okay, what's that?
It's the bylaws in the community management statement.
Oh, the rules.
The rules. And those rules are important. So number 1 is we make sure we look at the plans. Number 2 is let's know the rules of what we're buying into, right? Because we're buying into a body corporate. And we do have duties and responsibilities and obligations. So if I want to bring a pet with me, right, it's likely to say in the bylaws that I need to do an application to be able to have my pet with me because there might be certain rules as to how I'm bringing the pet in and out of the building. If they have a really fancy foyer area and they don't want dogs walking back and forwards through the foyer area, we might actually have to enter and exit the building via the car park.
Okay.
So we want to know what are our rules associated with that. If I'm buying an old lot and I want to renovate it, I want to make sure that I can renovate it and what are my duties and obligations to do that.
Okay, is that point 2 or is that still point 1?
No, it's point 2 now, the bylaws.
Okay. So what's point 3?
Number 3 is when we read the bylaws, there's a really special part called an application of exclusive use.
Okay, what's that?
And when we look at the application of exclusive use, that might tell us that we have a car park allocated to us by way of exclusive use, or we might have a patio allocated to us by way of exclusive use. And we want to know what are our rights and obligations about that exclusive use.
So, Juliette, I'm going to stop you there. Can you explain to the listeners what is the difference between the ownership of the unit and the granting or the having of exclusive use rights to a certain area?
Really good question. Very important. Having a grant of exclusive use means that property is still common property. It's still owned by the body corporate. You actually don't own it. It's like almost like a lease where you have an exclusive entitlement to use the space. But if I want to build a patio on it or change it, I still need the consent of the body corporate to do it. I can't just go and use it because I only have an exclusivity to use it with respect to that.
So even if it is in a low-rise development and it's a backyard by way of exclusive use, I can't go and put a pool in there?
No.
Okay.
Which we have just seen recently as well. Often think about that in duplexes.
Yep.
Right? In a duplex, everyone thinks they own all the land in front of them because it's fenced off and they've been told, oh yeah, it's just your land. But it's actually an allocation of exclusive use. So you can't just put a pool in it or put a tennis court in it. You actually need permission from the lot owner next to you who's part of your body corporate.
And what protection do I have that I'm not going to lose that exclusive use right? Like they can't take my unit off me or my duplex because I own it. But what about that exclusive use grant that I've got?
The application for exclusive use, as long as it is properly documented in the community management statement, which is your bylaws, you have that unless the body corporate goes to a general meeting and passes a resolution, but that resolution has to be passed by way of dissent. So if there's a no vote, right, it won't pass. So it's almost as good as owning it as part of your lot.
So what I'm hearing is they can't take it off me unless I agreed.
Correct.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so that's point 3. What's point 4?
No, I have to think now again. Oh, no, I know what it is. I like to do, okay, because we are obviously a specialist property law firm and have a specialisation in body corporate, I like to do a historical title search of the body corporate. Now, everyone looks at me and says, why would we do that? Why do we need to do that? You look at me and say, oh, we're not doing that.
Why am I doing that?
Because sometimes on the historical title search of the body corporate, it will show me absolutely everything that is registered in the name of the body corporate, right? Which includes easements. It includes building management statements. It includes whether it's part of a principal body corporate. So your little body corporate, you might be buying out at Hope Island, and you think you're buying in a little 12-lot scheme, but that actually is part of the Hope Island Resort. So you have a primary thoroughfare body corporate and a principal body corporate, and you have facilities that you can use that actually don't sit on your common property. But you also are paying money towards those facilities as well, so it might increase the cost that you pay in levies down the track. In addition to that, and this was one that only came up 3 weeks ago, did a search, easement came up. It was an easement in favour of another body corporate, which is quite strange. It's a little bit unusual. The body corporate had a swimming pool and barbecue facilities, and when the original developer, he actually built 2 body corporates at the same time, separate titles, and he gave an easement in favour of the other body corporate that they could use their swimming pool and barbecue facilities, and they actually paid money towards the use of that as well. So the historical title search does show us really interesting things that you are buying into as a lot owner. So if you thought as a lot owner only 25 of you were using the swimming pool, and now you realise, hang on, it's me 25, but it's the 50 lot owners in the other body corporate as well using the facilities.
Yep.
A lot more wear and maintain, a lot more people I have to share with.
Yep, understand. All right, point number 5.
All right, point number 5, and this is actually quite a big one as well. It is called development control bylaws. So let's go back to my example where I'm buying a little tiny body corporate, but I'm buying a block of land. And I want to build on that block of land, and I'm building in the Hope Island Resort area. they will have within their bylaws, not in your subsidiary scheme bylaws, so not in your little residential bylaws, but in the PBC bylaws, they will have development control bylaws, which are going to tell you the type of style of home that you can build on that lot. Really important to look behind those different types of structures with respect to that. And in part of doing that and looking at the bylaws, if you are buying in a structure like that, I also want you to go and get at least 12 months of the committee meeting or general meeting minutes.
Yep.
And maybe 2 years, because that's all to do with money. As a lot owner, I have an obligation to repair and maintain my lot. The body corporate must repair and maintain all the body corporate. As part of that, I might just be doing my own body corporate common property, but I might be paying money for easements. I might be paying money for other facilities. And I want to know that I have a really healthy sinking fund that's going to get me through all those payments for the future, and that the building has been appropriately maintained. So money is a really big part.
Yeah, I guess, those 5 points that you've mentioned, my input on those were all about money. One was when you're checking the CMS, etc., and checking the budget, is understanding what your levy contribution will be. That's right. How much you will be paying per week to body corporate levies.
What's the money?
And the second one would probably be doing, if you've got any concern at all about the body corporate, getting a body corporate search where you go back and get those minutes for at least a couple of years.
That's right.
Because you'll find out if there is there concrete cancer, is there building defects, is there water leaks?
Is there litigation?
Is there litigation? And if any of those things are there, then you know that you're possibly going to be up for some special levies if there's not enough money in the sinking fund.
That's exactly right. And from experience, we know with the level of conveyancing that we do at OMB, we always put it out there and we want people to do these searches. And sometimes we have to say, hey, you're really going to need to do these searches for this building because we want you to look at the background of it, because we are a little bit worried in terms of the financial resources of the individual, and we want them to have the best experience possible. When we recommend doing that full body corporate search, what do you reckon the percentage is that often?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people take it up. I find mainly it's where someone has a genuine concern about what's been going on.
That's right.
And if there have been special levies, or if there is a concern about future issuing of special levies, and they're a bit worried.
So one of the things that we would like to see changing from that consumer protection perspective is do those searches. Because, the value that you're buying, I'm going to buy a one-bedroom unit. I might be spending $300,000 or $400,000 to do that as a first home-owned buyer. It is worthwhile me spending $300 to get that search done.
Yep. Well, Juliette, I think that's a lot of information for particularly our first home buyers who are buying in strata to understand, but actually anyone who's buying in strata to think about. And obviously our body corporate team here at OMB with yourself and our property law team in my department can help you with your purchase of a unit in strata. And if you have bought in strata and you do have issues, reach out to Juliette and her team and they will be able to help you. Yes. But thanks for coming in. We really found that informative today, and I'm sure our listeners did as well.
That's right. Thank you very much for having me.
And if you've got any more questions that Juliette hasn't answered today, drop us a comment below, and we really appreciate your interaction and your continuing viewing and listening to our OMB Law Board, and we'll see you next time.